Hello, this is Owen, and I just realized that our favorite game, Warcry, is already turning 3 years old. So it comes as no surprise that when new players come and join us, they get confused and overwhelmed by how many books have already been published by this game. So this video is intended for them and also those who don't know on what books can bring to your game and if these books are necessary. Now let's talk about what you need in order to play this game. For one, you need a core book that has all the rules in order to play on all the types of game, which are the solo, match play, and narrative play. And then you need, of course, the stats for your fighter cards, and these can be found in any one of the 4 Grand Alliance books. It's worth to mention out that the rules for creating your warband in the core book has been superseded by the Grand Alliance books. So, for anyone wondering where the rules are, where you can put in hero or an ally in your warband, that is where you will find it in the Grand Alliance books. And that's it. That's all you need in order to start playing the game. What I really appreciate about Warcry is that unlike army building games like AOS and 40K, you need to be updated with the new rules that have been changed by by buying the General's Handbook. But here in Warcry, usually most of the books are just add-ons in order to bring new experiences to the Warcry game. Let's now take a look at the books that are optional to this game. So first off, let's take a look at Red Harvest. And in Red Harvest, you will find all you need in order to play the terrains that come with the box. There are rules there written that can be found the same as the core rules, except that the FAQs that were found in the main website have been added to the core rules, so now it's more smoothed out. Any errors have been changed a little bit. Now in the Red Harvest book, there is no open play rules and match play rules, so it's mostly on the narrative style of gameplay. But if you don't play any of the 2 factions, the 2 cultists in the box, the Red Harvest book actually gives you campaigns that are accessible from all the 4 great alliances. So even if you're a depth player like me, for example, you can still have something but not that many in the Red Harvest book. Alright, something I forgot to mention. So for newbies or people who are new to Warhammer or GW products in particular, we usually mention something called FAQ. What that means is GW sometimes make mistakes on their books, so they post corrections of any mistakes like rules wise, stat wise, anything on their website in the FAQ corner. That's what it means. Now let's shift to Tome of Champions 2021. What I like about this book is that you can now play the Underworld's figures, not the new ones that are found in Harrowdeep, but anything earlier is now accessible as long as those characters or the models on it are unique. So some Stormcast Eternal Warband and Night Haunts that are just stand-ins for the normal figures are not available, but the others, the Crimson Court, the Grimwatch, and the rest, you can now access these models that are called Bladeborn into the Warcry game itself. Now, there are a new type of gameplay called a siege type of gameplay, and I really like it because I like to try out multiple non-dueling types or team type of gameplay, and this is a good experiment to try it out. And then remember when I said earlier that many of the books do not usually add new rules to it? So the Tome of Champions 2021, or let's just say TOC, changes some of the model points, but aside from that, there is no change to how the game is played. So that's why I add TOC 2021 as optional, even though I really like a lot of stuff inside this book. Let's now shift our attention to TOC 2020. The first thing that have been changed to the game in 2020 is the rules on the narrative. So it's more forgiving if you lose in a narrative campaign, so there's a bigger chance to catch up rather than following the glory scoring in the core book. So aside from that, there isn't much change to the game, but what is memorable about this book is the Soroth core, the Silent City. That game feels like more than kind as you and other warbands fight over control of the city. And if you ask me, I really wish that GW will follow the Suthor core system, where instead of putting a lot of filler pictures in their book, they actually added very atmospheric story to the book and make you feel like you know how it is to live as a cultist. So as far as additional stuff added to the game, not really that much. Oh yeah, you can also play Warlords, which allows you to field only 250 points of fighters in the game, and it's a free for all, so 3 or up to 6 players. And the point of the game is it's mostly a warlord versus warlord or leader versus leader type of game. So if you just want your leader fighters to fight other leader fighters, then I would also recommend the warlord gameplay. The Catacombs book adds a new type of gameplay where you and the enemy play inside a dungeon. So in this game, it's a lot more slower because in the usual games, it lasts in either 3 or 4 rounds. In a Catacombs gameplay, there are 5 rounds in the game, and you can control doors that can be closed and opened. You can destroy these doors that have been stuck. And the most dangerous part of this game is when you fall into the lava pits, your fighter dies immediately. It's a very tense situation where you try to control the treasure and make sure that your opponent doesn't go there first. There are new abilities that can be found for both Night Haunt and Corvus Cabal, but these new abilities are only active when you play the Catacombs gameplay. Finally, let me just lump in 2 books, which is the TOC 2019 and Mercenaries and Monster book. I'm going to say that aside from 2019, there's one thing in 2019 that I think is interesting, which is the Kaiju battle. The rest in 2019 and Monsters and Mercenary, the rest that you can still use are their quests and campaigns, but really all the other books also offer that. So that's the only thing that's unique, and I don't know if it's worth the price for you. Now, these 2 books will show you stats for fighters that are already obsolete because these stats have been changed in the Grand Alliance book. So for its money's worth, I would really suggest to just skip these two books. Maybe the 2019 if you like to know how to play the game in just kaiju battles. Aside from that, these two books are completely skippable. And that's it. These are the books that have been published so far for our Warcry game. And I hope that I was able to shed some light, especially for beginners, on what books you have to purchase, and what books are completely skippable for you. So if you like the video and what I've discussed so far, and if you like to support me so I can make more of these types of video, don't forget to press the like button, press subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell button. So until next time guys, goodbye.